Good afternoon, everyone. Tomato prices skyrocketing in India, armed guards protecting the trucks, washout summer in Norway, similar to the Great Famine of 1315. 70 days out of 72 have produced rain. They've been unable to plant crops this year. Over to Ontario, flooded fields, carp. Canadians expect to pay more for meat, minimum 10% rise. August. And while you're watching the video, please remember to subscribe to Adapt 2030 and press that bell to stay subscribed to get the latest updates. And this video is brought to you by foodforliberty.com/Adapt 2030. Heirloom vegetable seed kits, enough for you to grow 10 acres. Harvest those seeds and replant for the next year. Click the link below to see what else they offer. Article out of the Hindustan Times. Skyrocketing tomato prices in India now requiring armed guards on the trucks. This was predicted in the Grand Solar Minimum anyway, based on what happened in the 1600s when they had the army transport food shipments. Here we go. This is a great instance of a modern day repeat in history. Expect more of this moving forward, especially through 2019. Up to Norway, farmers despair. It has the same start as the Great Famine of 1315. 70 out of 72 days, rainfall. That's 97%. The effect is, farmers are not able to plant this year. Soggy fields persisting through the entire growing season. This was expected as jet stream shifts occur, more cosmic rays, magnetosphere weakening. This was predicted that these weather patterns would shift. And in the forecast, more rain ahead. So at the very minimum, they're having the worst summer weather in at least 40 years. And then over to Piers Corbin's site, Weather Action News, talking about the Great Famine of 1315 to 1321. If this is the cycle repeating, there's another 7 years of wet, soggy weather left to complete this cycle in the Scandinavian countries. And when you're looking at the amount of rain coming down in each individual location, Tromsø might be a familiar one with those of you who are familiar with ionospheric heating. Also, throughout the entire summer of this year so far, these 6 locations are the only 6 in the entire country that reach 30 degrees Celsius. For the entire summer, 6 locations for the whole country. Staying on rain, this is from June when the fields were absolutely inundated with massive floods. It's the second year in a row with this type of volatile weather. Potatoes and carrots seem to be the main crops hit during this last round of flooding. And even notice up Environment Canada how they state this. It's almost as if it's become a monsoon climate. Well above normal, double the amount of rainfall is normal. And it still continues to rain, and they just haven't gotten the crops up there. They lost 1 million tons of canola, the wheat crop because of the drought in the west. The crops are not going to be anything like expected with the rosy forecasts, especially when it comes up to harvest season. All these fake paper trades driving down price right now are swiftly going to come to an end when the real numbers come in the silos at the end of the year. Now, Canadians also expect big meat jumps, at least 10%. And then the rest of the food rising 3 to 4% this year. But, up in Canada, food's expensive anyway. And the further north you go in Canada, the more expensive it gets. So I don't know where they're talking about 3 or 4%, because as I've interviewed people and spoken with friends over there, their food costs are going up 20, 30, 40%. This 3 or 4%, I believe, is a very incredibly low number. And add a little bit of sugar on top. Let's talk about sugar rises on expectations of rain delaying the harvest in Brazil. How is this northern and southern hemisphere everywhere inundated with rain? If it's not flooding, it's in a drought state. Extreme weather is here caused by cosmic rays and shifts in our magnetosphere. Grand solar minimum is intensifying. And wow, this is the rollover year. Here it comes. Next year is going to be nothing like this year. It's going to be so extreme. It's going to be multiplied, the effects next year as we go into this. An amplification for sure coming. Food prices up globally. By the end of this year, Christmas, when you're sitting around the holiday dinner table, you're going to be talking about rising food prices. Thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of the video. Please consider supporting me on PayPal or Patreon if you have the means. If you don't, please pass this through your social media. That'll help me incredibly as well. These are all the social media feeds that I'm on currently as well. And do remember, I have a weekly podcast, Mini Ice Age Conversations, available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Soundcloud. Try to do a longer 30 to 45-minute interview every single week with somebody who has more information about the grand solar minimum or can give you real on-the-ground analysis of what's happening with food prices and weather conditions.